What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name is MrHurriicane. We are getting some more Madden 18 information, so I'm going to take some time today to get around to some of these blogs. I'm not sure how many of these I'm going to make, but I will make at least 2 today. And the first is going to be about community requests that have been addressed. This is a pretty deep article with a lot of different things that'll be added to the game this year. And for those of you wondering about regular content on this channel, Chargers franchise will be up tomorrow and Sunday. So 2 episodes soon. I'll be streaming today as well, so keep a lookout for that. But why don't we get to this community request article on the EA Sports website. It is linked down below in the description. And let me know in the comments what you think of these additions to the game. And if you enjoy these videos, please subscribe to the channel and check out more of my Madden content. The article begins with something I am very excited about in Madden, and it's off-ball injuries. When playing simulation, players not directly involved in the tackle can be injured, and they're referring here to the simulation play style, which is what I'll be playing franchise on in most of my games. So players who aren't involved in the tackle can be injured. This includes offensive and defensive linemen. You'll want to stay on top of the injury report. When an off-ball injury occurs, you won't see an injury animation on the field, only the injury notification under the scoreboard. In some cases, you may see the injury notification after the play, but before the sideline can report on the severity of the injury. The player may have already returned to the game. Now, I really want to know how this really plays out. Are we going to see serious injuries that are off the ball? This happens a lot. And in regards to offensive linemen, I'm a Viking fan. I know these guys get hurt, and they can get hurt often. For the first time, it looks like offensive line depth is really going to be important. Sometimes when you're playing a franchise, you might have a star receiver get hurt or your star quarterback. But in Madden, we've never really had to deal with a key offensive lineman getting hurt and having to work around that. They can get hurt if they recover a fumble and get tackled. But obviously, this is a different ball game now, and I really can't wait to see how off-ball injuries can impact franchise in a realistic way, of course. So on to the next section here, we have ball hawk skill mechanic. We have a couple skill mechanics here. Users on defense can no longer hold Y or triangle for the entire play on defense and expect to make the interception. Ball hawk is now a timing based skill. If the button is held down or pressed for too long, the defender will receive a heavy penalty to his catch of making the catch and will likely drop the ball. You'll see a user skill notification pop out of the scoreboard that tell you if the mechanic was timed correctly or not. Quarterbacks can also fake out user defenders holding ball hawk with a pump fake. So this one is interesting. Ball hawk was introduced a few years ago and it made it very easy to do user picks. I have not had to play like an older Madden in a long time where you used to have to strafe and time everything correctly. It was definitely skill based then, and it looks like we're going back to it here. Stick skills for key plays look to be a bigger factor in Madden 18, and I'm sure the competitive community loves this. It'll help separate the skill gap a little bit, and you'll be rewarded for developing those skills. So I'm cool with this, although I'll have to adapt when I go to play Ultimate Team now, it looks like. The hit stick skill mechanic. Hit stick has been moved back to be exclusively on the right stick. Defenders will no longer be able to use the aggressive tackle mechanic on X or square to land hit sticks. It's now based on timing and facing angle with more risk and reward. It also brings back the ability for low or high hit sticks by flicking the stick down or up respectively. Landing a hit stick will be accompanied by a controller rumble and unique tackle audio. I'm already pretty bad at hit sticks, but we'll see if I can adapt to this mechanic. I definitely like that there is some more skill being added into these key mechanics within the game that can be very game-changing. We're talking about turnovers here. That's the only reason you'd use ball hawk or hit stick is for turnovers. Now, for the next section, we have ball carrier special moves. Every one of the ball carrier special moves, such as juke, spin, and hurdle, has been updated in Madden 18. The moves are faster and more efficient. The moves are also less punitive in terms of fumble chances, and more importantly, user-controlled players on defense can now be faked out as effectively as AI-controlled players, especially when attempting to hit stick. I like that last section the most. One thing that I don't like is how when you're controlling a player, they seem to be better than if the CPU was controlling that player. So from the looks of things, it might be a little bit easier to use these moves with success. They're going to be faster and more efficient and have less fumble risk, and you can actually use them on controlled players by the user a lot easier. On to dropped interceptions. Dating back many years, one of the top competitive complaints was around defenders dropping wide open interceptions with the competitive game style. If your defender has a good catch rating and is open, there will be a significantly higher chance the interception will be caught. Keep in mind, you'll still see dropped interceptions in this scenario if the defender's catch rating does not meet the threshold. Catches in traffic can also still result in drop picks. This is another one to me that makes sense for the competitive play style. On to the swerve. Last year, an exploit was uncovered that allowed receivers to swerve defenders out of the position to play the ball. The team has fixed several assignment and positioning issues to ensure that this tactic is no longer effective. Defenders will play the ball effectively instead of locking in with the receiver. I never actually experienced this playing online last year because I played online mostly early in the life cycle of the game, so I'm not all that familiar, but I heard plenty of complaints about this, and obviously it's a tactic that I'm glad they have hopefully eliminated. Curl flat zones. Another top community request was curl flat purple zones. Curl flats would crash to the flats and leave deeper routes open down the sideline. We implemented a new rule called no cover zone, where underneath defenders won't jump routes 5 yards and under. This to me makes sense as long as this is only for the purple zones where you're obviously not as worried about the short flats. Fumble recovery. A big legacy issue we focused on was fumble recoveries. We eliminated the extended piles where nobody can recover the ball. You will see much faster reactions to the ball on the ground, and players have an improved ability to grab the ball when it gets close to their hands. I've seen some pretty comical pile-ups in Madden 17. Don't see them a ton, but I'm glad that it will be fixed. Next, on to user-controlled linebackers. Users controlling a linebacker were able to take away most routes over the middle of the field in the past. We made some alterations to defender run curves and turn rates to ensure that only elite defenders are capable of making these types of plays. Lower rated defenders will not be able to take away the middle of the field as effectively. So I'm wondering if this is going to have, which ratings this will have to deal with, because to me, we're talking about change of direction here and just overall movement. So I'd be focused on speed, acceleration, and agility, but I wonder if you'll need other skills now to roam the middle as effectively as someone like Luke Kuechly. Next up is rack drops, or run after catch. Dropped open racks was one of the biggest technical issues we dealt with on Madden 17. Our online team worked on this area extensively with the gameplay team to ensure the problem is resolved in Madden 18. We also did a lot of tuning to the organic knockout system to ensure fewer cases of dropping a catch due to collisions once the ball has been secured. Our QA team has spent countless hours of online testing to ensure we deliver expected outcomes. Now, this was one that I didn't really see a lot in my experience. I'm guessing because I don't play a ton of online, and it sounds like this is more of an online issue. So hopefully this is good to go in Madden 18. Next up, hard flat zones. The community stated that they wanted hard flats to play the flats more aggressively. We did some work on their logic so they do a better job of reading the route progression and taking away throws to the flats. Very happy with this. A lot of times the flats are pretty easy to take advantage of if you have the right route combinations. Next, we have AI defenders SWAT versus INT. Another top competitive community request was to remove outcomes where defenders would SWAT down what would have been an easy interception. On competitive only, defenders will now always go for the INT on an open read on the ball. Makes sense to me. Directional control of rack catches. Since the implementation of the rack catch, a player running out of bounds on a throw to the flat was a common occurrence. This year we added branch out windows that allow you to steer the exit angle of your rack catches. Simply push the left stick in the direction you want to exit the catch while in the rack animation. Throwing towards the sidelines, push up on the left stick during your catch to immediately turn upfield and avoid running out of bounds. That sounds pretty interesting. I can't wait to check that out. Size and weight factor. The formula used to determine the outcomes of hit sticks and impact blocks will now use weight and momentum of the players involved in the interaction. You will see far less instances of smaller players successfully landing a hit stick on bigger ball carriers or wide receivers impact blocking bigger linebackers, especially when not moving with enough speed to make a big hit. Obviously, this makes sense. OT and play now games. Offline play now games now use playoff overtime rules rather than regular season overtime rules, and that basically eliminates the possibility of a tie. Low-rated quarterback accuracy. This is one that I really care about. Complaints about lower-rated quarterbacks being too accurate have been addressed with a new inaccuracy system. Expect to see more inaccurate throws from lower-rated quarterbacks, especially on simulation play style. These inaccurate passes have new placement modeling, ensuring you'll see a wider variety in how throws are missed. This sounds exactly what I was hoping for when I've complained about inaccuracy in the past. Inaccuracy doesn't always mean that you miss by 5 yards. If you throw it too low and they make the catch, or behind the receiver and they make the catch, that's still inaccurate. I've always wanted to see more outcomes that are possible when the ball is thrown, because the ball could go anywhere near the receiver, so I'd like to see that be reflected. Defense in practice mode. When a user is on defense in practice, the AI will not snap the ball if it senses the user making defensive adjustments. This gives plenty of time to practice exotic defensive setups without having to be worried about the AI quick hiking them. This one is something I never would have even thought about probably, but it does make sense. Practice is for practicing different things, and I like this feature a lot. Slower players catching faster players. The game in the past could create scenarios where ball carriers on breakaway runs could be caught from behind by defenders with lower speed. We were able to solve this long-standing legacy issue with some key changes to defensive run curves and stamina. So I guess we'll see how this plays out now. Position-specific defensive hot routes. The hot routes available for defenders at the line of scrimmage are now position-specific to each player on the field. Users should now see defensive hot routes that make sense for the position they are hot routing. This change provides a variety of new tools they can use to adjust their defenders at the line of scrimmage. A breakdown of the new defensive hot routes on a per position basis is shown directly below. Notes: if a safety is subbed in via formation package or formation sub to an outside cornerback position, he will get the outside cornerback hot route set. That makes sense. If by alignment an outside cornerback was to align inside over a slot receiver, he is considered a slot DB. Therefore, he'll get the slot DB hot route set. And there's a long list of the hot routes that are available for each position. I'm definitely excited to see differences between your outside corners and your slot defenders. So for outside DBs, we have the outside third deep zone for cover 3, the cloud flat, hard flat, soft squat, man, blitz, deep half, and outside quarters deep zone. For the slot DBs, seam flat, vertical hook, hard flat, curl flat, man coverage, quarterback spy, blitz, and a bluff blitz. For your deep half safety, deep half zone in a cover 2, hook curl, inside third, curl flat, man coverage, blitz, quarterback spy, inside quarter zone. For a deep middle safety, when you go single high, deep middle third zone, a middle read zone, outside third deep zone left, deep half left, man coverage, blitz, outside third deep zone right, deep half right. Wouldn't this have been better with like images or something? This does not seem to be the most efficient way to communicate this information, but I guess it works. Inside linebacker, middle third deep zone, middle read, hook curl, curl flat, man coverage, blitz, quarterback spy, bluff blitz, outside backers, and 4-man line defensive ends. Seam flat, vertical hook, hard flat, curl flat, man coverage, blitz, quarterback spy, and bluff blitz, and defensive tackles and 3-man lines. Vertical hook left and right, hook curl left and right, man coverage, I wouldn't recommend, blitz, quarterback spy, and bluff blitz. So a lot of stuff in here. I'm excited to see a lot of these in action, especially the off-ball injuries. That is one of my things that I've wanted for a long time, and especially for injuries to really matter in Madden and for depth to be something that is really important. I am very excited to see the simulation game style with a lot of these in action, and I'm looking forward to finally playing the game in August. So that's going to do it for this video, everybody. What did you think of the content within this article, and which are you most excited for? For me, I'd have to say, of course, off-ball injuries and the quarterback inaccuracy. Hoping that it's not just to do with lower rated quarterbacks, but also separating your 80 to 99 overall quarterbacks. Those are the ones who are starting, and I want to see a gap between their abilities. They've made some progress in that area, but I still think we have to see a lot more. Please drop a like if you enjoyed the video. Again, leave your feedback in the comments section below, and hit that subscribe button and the bell notification so you don't miss any of my uploads. And I think that's all I gotta say for this one, but I'll have more content coming your way soon talking about Madden 18. So stick around, and I'll see you all later. Have a great day.